This video was created for the Small Business Resiliency Network's EmpowerED series to assist SBRN partners in helping businesses that do not see a match in SAM.gov and that need to create an incident with supporting documentation to validate their information. PDF copies of the slides from the video, along with other resources, are available on the SBRN's Box Share Drive. The match for the business does not exist in SAM.gov. After doing an initial search, it gets a bit more complicated. The business will need to provide documentation to validate their information and to request that they have that updated in the SAM.gov database. They should select, I do not recognize my entity in this list, and hit next. Entities have an opportunity to upload documentation to validate their information. The Federal Service Desk, FSD, will help to resolve the issue, and your client should be sure to watch their emails for any updates from General Services Administration Federal, FSD support at gsa.gov. Entities have an opportunity first to upload information to validate their information and to help the FSD desk to resolve the issue. So they'll come to this screen here. Acceptable documentations to validate information include screenshots and a PDF, PNG, or JPEG type file of the business profile on the Washington State Department of Revenue or Washington State Secretary of State website. This must be current and include the site URL when you're capturing the screenshot. Tribal businesses may upload their business license, but it must be stamped by the authority with a date. The Washington Secretary of State also has documentation such as certificate of formation or articles of incorporation. Again, these must be stamped with the date. Department of Treasury IRS letter that assign your client their EIN. Bank statements, they can cross out and redact information that isn't necessary for validation. So they would just keep the actual address portion, name and address portion of their bank statements. Same with their utility bill, water, gas, or electric. For any bank statements or utility bills, they must be within the last 5 years. So they have to be current when submitting those informations. And if they submit this, they will usually hear back from FSD within 1 to 3 days. To start, we're going to look for sole proprietors and businesses that may have a Department of Revenue profile. So go to dor.wa.gov, and from the front screen, click on Look Up a Business. You'll then enter either the business name or the UBI number. Check that you're not a robot, and hit search. A listing of businesses, if you put the name in, a listing of businesses that are close to that business's list will be displayed. Click on the one that's you recognize as your client's business and hit search. This will bring up their profile. And when capturing this screenshot, again, be sure to include, this is what you use to validate their information, the URL from the website, as well as the first issuance date that's noted here. They can use that as their start date if they're asked that question in SAM.gov. Here's some tips on how to capture a screenshot from Windows or from their Mac OES system. You can press the Windows key plus print screen, or you may also do Command plus Shift plus 3 on the Mac operating system. There are videos available, so feel free to search on YouTube or search Google, and you'll come up with how to best do that if you have any challenges. Now, for the Washington Secretary of State listing, go to www.sos.wa.gov, click on Corporations and Charities tab, and then select Search Tools. From there, you do not need to actually create a customer login. You can scroll down on the screen, go to Corporation Search, and put in the business name or the UBI, and click Search. Again, you'll come up with a list of businesses. Click on the one that's the correct business for your client, and it'll bring up their profile. So once again, when capturing the screenshot, be sure and include the URL, the expiration date, the formation date or formation registration date is what they would use as their start date in SAM.gov. In addition to the profiles, the screenshots of the profiles, you can also pull up documentation from the Secretary of State. So from their profile, click on Filing History. That'll bring up a list of documents that have been filed. You could use a certificate of formation, or you can pull up the most recent annual report. That must be, again, stamped with the date, and submit that. Make sure the address is the correct address, and upload that as validation for the business's address. Here's an example of what that looks like. You'll see the filed on the second page. That filed stamp tells what date it was filed with the Secretary of State. So once you have the documentation that you need, you'll go back, in SAM.gov, you'll click on Add Documents. This will bring up a drop-down list. Select from that what you're uploading. So it might be articles of incorporation, a bank statement, or if you're uploading the profile from the Secretary of State or the Department of Revenue, click Other Document. You'll then need to check all the boxes that the documentation you're providing validates. So legal business name and physical address in the same document. Here it says legal businesses and doing business as in the same document. If they're not, if that comes up as an option that needs to be validated and they don't have a doing business as or DBA, go ahead and click that anyway. You want to provide as much, try and check all of these boxes. So your legal business name and U.S. state of incorporation, since it's a Washington Secretary of State or Department of Revenue listing, for instance, and the start year in the same document. From there, you'll then choose from folder, select the file, the screenshot, or the documentation you'd like to upload. Make sure, again, it's a PDF, PNG, or JPEG, and then hit Submit. Once you've uploaded the document, be sure to clearly document in that Provide Details optional. Document out exactly what you want the representative from FSD to update. So in this case, I have uploaded a screenshot from the Washington State Department of Revenue for my entity test account, which includes my address, 123 Test Avenue, Seattle, Washington, 98101, and my year of incorporation, 2001, in Washington State. Please update your database to reflect this information. Oftentimes, people won't include any information there, or they'll say, please look at documentation I've uploaded. And what's so much easier is an individual may be updating this information. You want to make sure that they clearly see what you want done and update that in the system. So providing as much information as clearly as you can in that Provide Details box is highly recommended. Again, tips for validation tickets: only create one incident per entity. Creating multiple tickets doesn't speed up the handling of issues and may actually slow them down. If you add multiple documents and they contradict each other, that can be especially confusing for the AI tool or the agent that's reviewing the ticket. So avoid uploading multiple documents to validate information, especially if they contain conflicting data. Watch for emails from FSD support at gsa.gov with requests or updates on the incident. Remember, each incident is being reviewed first by an AI bot, probably, and then an individual. So be very clear on what's being requested and upload accurate and appropriate documentation. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions, here's our contact information. Please feel free to outreach. And good luck in helping your clients to get their UEI.